What's going on, bro? I think you're still muted, man.
Yeah, you already know. What's going on, my beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Grow, Live, Dream. I am your boy, LeVar Robinson, and this is my brother T. Hutton, the motivator, and we're super excited to come to you guys today. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing today?
I'm absolutely amazing, man. And, got out. Temperature is absolutely amazing. Got me a good walk in. I'm like, look, can't wait to get back and talk about these Eagles.
I got out and did a little bike riding this morning, man. Probably rode about 3.5 miles. Just me and the wind.
And you and the wind.
A lot of wind
there right now.
Wind resistance, like an eagle. I got a lot of resistance this morning, man. But it was a good ride, man. I'm excited today to talk about our topic about eagles. Of course, if you remember, as a little kid, this was my favorite animal in the world. My whole room when I was young was decorated with bald eagles. I am all about eagles when I was a kid. So I'm excited to talk about them. A lot of random knowledge I still know from being a kid. So I'm excited.
Man, I'm excited too. Always excited to bring this knowledge, man, and bring this information, to our people so we can push this thing through. So go ahead, man, jump in. Let's get it.
So first off, we're going to be talking about where are you in the animal kingdom? And today is so you call yourself an eagle. Mm-hmm. But what does that really look like? What does it mean to be an eagle? So we're, of course, like we've been doing as we continue on in this series, we're going to talk about some different habitat things about an eagle. We'll talk a little bit about the eagles, just the lifespan and the lifestyle of an eagle. And we're going to see how those really relate to what it looks like to be motivated, to be a person, to be an eagle-like person. So when we dive down deep into this, to start out, we're going to notice there's going to be some extreme differences between the eagle, the tiger, and the lion. Last week, you heard us. If you watched the first episode last week on Tuesday, you heard us talk about lions. If you watched Thursday episode, you heard us talk about tigers. Today, we are talking about eagles. And also at the top of their food chain also.
That's right. The one thing that sticks out to me the most about eagles is they're unmistakable. Like unmistakable. They just stick out, right? Anywhere that they go, they're unmistakable, right? And that's what we want to be. That's what we want to be as individuals. That's what we want to be as people. We want to be unmistakable. What you think about that, T. Hutton?
I really feel like you're right about that. And then when you say they're unmistakable, I promise you, they are truly unmistakable. They are some majestic creatures. LeVar, I'm leaving out of my neighborhood. I never seen an eagle in my area, and the whole time I've been living here since we built this house. I'm leaving and I'm driving up the road. I'm probably like maybe 100, 200 yards from the entry into my neighborhood, and I see an eagle swoop down and grab something. And I look, when I see it swoop down, I was like, whoa.
You can imagine.
Whoa, that's a bald eagle.
Right.
And then it grabbed it and it just sat down with it. And I'm like looking at it on the side of the road. Not only am I sitting there looking at it, I just slowed down to a stop. Me and 4 other cars and stop. Everybody's taking pictures because to see a bald eagle, one, just to see it in the wild is amazing. And to see how big a bald eagle truly is in the wild is amazing. Because I've seen them. You see them at the games and you see them, you have the eagle handlers. They come out and they let the eagle fly around the stadium and different stuff like that. But to see an eagle in the wild, attacking his prey or eating or whatever it's doing in the wild is an amazing thing. And they are truly unmistakable. No matter if it's a bald eagle or a golden eagle, no matter what type of eagle it is, they are truly majestic creatures.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I want everybody to take away from anything. Like we're going to talk about these things, about these different animals. We're going to talk about the different topics, but the one thing that I really believe that's super important is that as you go about your life, make sure that you understand that you need to move in a way that's unmistakable. Move in a way that people see you as being like, hey, oh yeah, that's T Hutton right there. Oh yeah, that's T Hutton right there. Oh yeah, that's LeVar right there, right? You know, like that, you're unmistakable, right? You don't want to be like everybody else anyway. If you're being like everybody else, you're moving in the wrong direction. All right. So that's one thing that I definitely want to take away from Eagles is I want to make sure that when I move, I'm 100% unmistakable.
So when I started to think about being unmistakable and about Eagles themselves, one of the questions that come to mind for me is like, what are you built for? Right? Because when we think about an eagle, they're unmistakable. You can see them from a distance and recognize that it's an eagle. And it's the way the eagle is built that makes an eagle an eagle. Okay. Right. So they talk about an eagle having, you see the eagle, the long wingspans and just its talons on its feet. And the fact that it has these huge talons, which allows it to grab its prey so it'll be able to eat and feed and take care of itself. The wingspan allows it to soar so high or move so fast. Like, what are you built for? Here's the question in your life. What are you built for? What are you actually built for to accomplish in your life? Because there are some things in your life that requires you to be built differently. You can't be built like some other birds. There's some other birds that have talons, but those talons doesn't do the same thing as the eagle's talons do for them. They're not built the same.
They're not built the same. And understand, they actually carry the largest load amongst birds, right? So in order for you to tell yourself or to say that you are an eagle, you got to understand that means that you have to be built to carry large loads. You have to be built that way, right? Listen, it may not be easy. Now keep in mind now, just because they're built to do it don't mean that every load is going to be easy to carry. It don't mean that every load is going to be easy to carry, but you have to carry the load. Why? Because you're an eagle, right? With that being said, let me make sure I do a little house rules, like go ahead and house cleaning for everybody who's watching. Make sure that you're commenting. Make sure that you're sharing. All right. Make sure that you like and love it. I almost forgot to tell you guys to do that. We are here to provide you guys with nuggets, energy, and everything that you need to be able to help you build and get your mindset where it need to be for you to take over the world, Craig. All right, let's jump right into it.
So when we talk about being built for it, not only the eagle has the talents that allow it to be built for it, but it also has different features. Its ability to see. They say an eagle's sight is about 3 to 4 times better than a human sight. So when an eagle is soaring up high and it looks down low and like to the water, different things to find its prey, it's able to see farther and better than we can. So my question for you is what is your vision? What are you able to see? What are you built to be able to see? Because we all have different visions, but some of us can see a little bit further. What are you looking for that you have the vision to see? LeVar, have you ever looked out into your future and seen something a long ways off and everybody else couldn't see it? It's almost like you see a vehicle coming from a long distance away and everybody else is like, ain't nothing out there. And you're like, oh no, it's there. I can see it.
Vision. A lot of people have heard me say this quite often. My man Stevie Wonder said, I'd rather have vision and sight and no vision, right? You have to have vision in your life. You have to be able to see what's coming, right? You have to be able to see what other people are not going to see. Because realize this, more times than not, people can't see what you're going to see anyway because they have mental barriers that are stopping them from being able to see it, right? They might have went through something in life that stopped them from being able to see the length or the fact that they have created their own limitations, right? So they can't necessarily see that. Just like the eagle being able to see, you have to be able to see. You have to have the vision in your life to be able to dream past most people's limitations. And it just is what it is. With that being said, and this is important, T. Hutton, with that being said, realize that most people are attempting to stop you from going after those things in which they fear because they can't see themselves achieving it.
So what you're saying is they don't think you should chase it because they can't see it in their own lives.
Facts. If you're watching this right now, and if you had somebody attempt to tell you something that you shouldn't be doing, something that you shouldn't be doing because you feel like they feared it, I want you to go ahead and put "I've been through it" in the chat, because it is what it is. It's nothing against them, right? It's nothing against them. They're actually attempting to give you some nuggets, or attempted to help you when in actuality, because of what they've been through, they can't even see themselves achieving the things that you're going to achieve.
When I look at that, it's also sad because it's so many times that we have our closest friends and family members that try to protect us and they harm us. By trying to tell us that, hey, don't shoot for that. Don't reach for that goal. I don't know if you heard me. There's a speech I did a while back where I talk about the little kid being on the hill and he's shooting out a quart gun and he's shooting at the moon. And the other kids tell him that he'll never hit the moon. And the old man tell him that he'll always be closer than they will because he's at least trying. There's some stuff that you got to try for yourself that people can't see it for you. You got to try it for yourself because someone else, they might not be built for that. They don't have the vision to see it and they don't have the will to do it. I used to love, they used to have the commercial, LeVar, and they'd be like, are you built for it tough? You know what I'm saying? Or is it for it tough? And that was the question for a while. Is it for it tough? Because if it wasn't for it tough, it wasn't going to make it. It didn't have the ability to persevere. So the question is, are you built for it? Because if you're not built for it, you might hurt somebody else because of the lack of your vision or the lack of your build for it.
So it's interesting that you say that. A fact about certain eagles is depending on where that eagle is will depend on how long its wings are. Okay. So in forest areas, right, in more enclosed areas, right, they have smaller wings, right? And in more open areas, they have longer wings. And when I was looking at that, and I was like, man, like, I feel in life that sometimes we have an inability to adapt, right? And then sometimes in life, what ends up happening is that the surroundings that we're in, we don't have the ability to grow as big as we can be.
You know what? Let me say it to him like this, LeVar, because we both know I am infatuated with trees. I'm talking, I have a love for trees. If you don't know, I'm a tree hugger. I love them. Hey, look, so here's a funny thing. You can take a sapling from a major size oak tree, one that is grown for over 150 feet tall, and you can bonsai it. So what does that mean? That means for it to be constrained, and you can have it sit on the desk as like a pottery plant. So let me explain that to you what that means for you. If you allow something or someone to bonsai your life, you'll never reach your full potential. You will age and you will mature, but you will never reach your full potential. See, a bonsai can be sitting on the desk at 2 feet tall. A bonsai oak tree can sit on the desk at 2 feet tall and be 30 to 40 years old. But it never reached its full potential because it was bonsaied. It was constrained. It was held in place by something. There's some things holding you in place that are invisible. You hear us all the time say stuff like your mindset. Your mindset has the ability to bonsai your life, where you will put limits on yourself. We allow people to put limits on us by the topics and the names and the titles they give us. You are only this person. You're just dad. You're just mom. You're just business owner. You're just this. You're just that. I'm just a musician. I'm just this. I met a guy, LeVar. Remember we met this young man. We was at the restaurant. I said, hey, man, what do you do? He said, I'm a waiter. I said, I thought you said you do music. He said, I'm a waiter and I do music. I said, okay, well, put some hands in there. Don't just tell me one thing. If I ask you a question, tell me all of who you are.
Boom. Wait a minute. He said, put some hands in there. Hold on. That's the people that are watching right now, right? And they're pigeonholing their self. In other words, you're telling me they're boxing their self and saying they're only doing one thing, when all actuality they do that thing and they do some other things, right? I was actually that's good. What's up, Yesenia? What's up, Deborah? How you guys doing? I'm not sure who that Facebook user is, but what's happening with you? You the GOAT as well. But look, what you just said is so real, right? Because I love what I do. I love what I do, but there's so many other things that I do, right? I don't just say I'm a singer, right? I'm a singer and songwriter, right? I'm not just a singer and songwriter. I'm also an investor, so I got to make sure that I say that as well. Listen, I'm all the above. I'm not going to let anyone box me in to thinking that I can only do one thing, right? I heard somebody say this yesterday. They said, I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. But what it is, it's a limitation that other people put on your life because they can't do more than one thing. Or because they failed. I ain't gonna say can't. That's because they're afraid to do more than one thing.
Yeah.
We can't live our life based on other people. We can't live our life based on what somebody else think is possible. You have to live your life based on what you're built for. And you may be built stronger than the next person. Boom. Think about it. It's all good. It is what it is. They may not be built that way, but guess what? You have to accept the fact that you're built that way, T. Hutton. You have to accept the fact that you're built different. So you got to move different. Yeah. See, when you're built different and you try to adapt your life to doing what other people are doing and they're not moving, they're not doing nothing special, you're unhappy. You're unhappy. You always feel like you haven't done enough.
Look, I just had a conversation 3 days ago and I told someone, I say, look, you're a star. And as long as you allow somebody to continue to try to beat you down to that square hole, you're going to be unhappy. But the thing about a star being in that square hole, it's only going to stay there for a little while. Because it's going to pop back out. If you're a star, put a star in the chat. Like this, know that you're different. You're built different.
Put
you might have a few more size than everybody else. There's something different about you.
Right.
There's something that's going to make you stand out when others are not going to stand out. You're not made to blend in. You're meant to stand out. So don't try to blend in.
And I want to make sure that I say this because this is super important. And you said, eventually, the star is going to pop out. But I want to caution people. I want to caution you guys, because if you allow people to beat you into that position long enough, your star will become broken. You'll become broken. Your life will feel broken. You'll feel like you're not good enough. You'll feel like, man, like I just don't know what's going on. When truth of the matter is, you was always that star. Truth of the matter is, you were always meant for more. Truth of the matter is you were never that circle, and you were never going to be what they wanted you to be. You were going to be what you were meant to be and what you were built for. We'll say that again.
So moving from the built part of this things, I want to talk about ability over desire. Because see, the eagle not only has a desire, but he has an ability. We talked about the built for part, that's the ability. But then you got to have a desire. So funny thing about eagles is this. When they are eaglets, when they're first hatched, they sit there in the nest. A nest is built for them by the parents. And they sit there for a little while. Not a whole long time. For a little while before they learn to fly. Now, here's the nice part about this. They have the ability to climb out the eagle's nest on their own. But if they don't, after a certain period of time, the parents give them that little push. So my question to you is this. What are you needing that little push on? Because sometimes we need that little push. Some people need that good spotting kick, that one that kicks you and knocks all your wind out, make you move when you don't want to move. We know I love that man. That's my type of motivation. The spotting
push. That accountability push is hard.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
So when I ask you about, you know what I'm saying, do you need this push? Are you one of the eagles that need to be pushed out of the nest? Because it doesn't change whether you're an eagle if you're in the nest or out of the nest. The question is, do you need that push? Because at some point, you got to start flying. Have you ever met anyone, LeVar, that needed that push? Because you knew they was an eagle. You seen, like you said all the time, a lot of times people see it before you see it. You seen they was an eagle, but they needed that push.
Oh man, 110%. There's a gentleman that's in my business right now. I always said he was meant for more, man. I'm meant for more, and I'm meant for more, meant for more. And he said sometimes he get right up to he was almost there, right? And he'll just go into self-sabotage mode, right? Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, what a lot of people fail to realize is in order for you to get that push, that means you have to have somebody that's going to push you, right? You have to have the right energy around you, the right people around you. Okay. All right. So I was that for him. And he's flourishing like crazy right now because he was able to get pushed past that point where he was ready to self-sabotage himself. We have to understand that at the end of the day, it don't matter whether you get over that place or not. It didn't mean that you didn't have the ability. It didn't mean that you weren't able. It didn't mean that you didn't have the ability to take over the world. It didn't mean that you didn't have the ability to do some absolute special things. Sometimes it just means you don't have the right people around you. Sometimes it just means that you weren't willing to go through that fear. And more times than not, that fear will stop you from being able to achieve those things that you want to, therefore allowing you not to see that ability that you had. Because once you start getting past that fear, Tia, and you start realizing that you had it all along, you'll start utilizing that moving forward.
You know, when I'm thinking about that, you know, you having it all along, I think of this story I heard a while back about a young man that was disabled, right? And all the people had different reasons why they thought he was disabled. But what it was is that as a kid, he never was put down. Because he was of such high stature, he never had to learn how to walk. They just carried him everywhere. So when he became a man, he was unable to walk. Because see, you can age up, but if you don't develop on the way up, there's some things you're going to miss out on.
It's a lot.
So when he became an adult, he was crippled, not because he didn't have the ability to walk, because he never learned how to walk. Okay. But see, there's a thing called a season, and the seasons come change. You know what I mean? So you might be at a point in your life right now where you're in a season, and that season has been going on for seem like way too long.
Way too long.
And you're ready for a change in your life. But it's only till you make that decision that it's time for that change to happen, does that change happen. It's only when that eagle decides to truly climb out that nest and learn how to fly does that change happen. Because until he climbs out of the nest or he's pushed out the nest, he doesn't fly. He's still an eagle. He still has wings. He has the ability, but until the desire is there, he doesn't go anywhere.
Until the desire is there, but then the action must follow with the desire. Super important that everybody understand that. I just put it in the chat. You guys are eagles. I said walk in that, but as I said walk in that, I wanted to replace that with fly in that.
Yeah.
I wanted to replace that with fly in that, right? Because understanding that it doesn't really matter the name. It doesn't really matter the name, right? Because they're stronger eagles than others. It doesn't really matter the name. Certain eagles will fly further than others, right? It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you put the action behind the name and live up to the name. You put the action behind the name and live up to the name. What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? Is it eagle-like? Right? Are you standing out amongst the crowd? How are you built? Understand it's bigger than just the name. It matters none for people who say, well, I'm an eagle, I'm an eagle, I'm an eagle. Yep, I'm an eagle. Right? But do your actions show that? On a day-to-day basis, you just said something just a moment ago, T-Hud. You said, well, you know, more times than not, people will notice it before you do. What are people noticing? What are people noticing about you? Very important that we understand that while we're looking in the mirror.
Now, here's some good news about an eagle. because I like good news.
I love good news.
The eagle flies at an altitude of up to 10,000 feet in the air. And at 10,000 feet in the air, LeVar, you remember when you first got on the plane and the plane went up and you was looking at the clouds and the clouds were above you? Mm-hmm. Well, at 10,000 feet, the clouds are now below you. My point in saying that is this. Sometimes you have to take flight to shift your perception.
Perspective, yeah.
You're gonna have to take flight to shift your perspective. If you want to truly see this world as it's meant to be seen, it has not been seen on the ground. Don't get me wrong. Like if you both of them are birds. You have a chicken and you have an eagle, but the chicken will never see it from the eagle's point of view. Now, here's the awesome part about LeVar. I'm gonna shoot you a word right quick. The eagle can come down and see it from the chicken's point of view, but the chicken will never see it from the eagle's point of view. See, the eagle can come down to the ground and meet you where you at. But that chicken, he can't get to 10,000 square feet. And if he did, he's been served on the plane.
I'm gonna go ahead and use Keela comment. She said that part. That part, yeah, 100%. And once again, guys, when we understanding that perspective, we're understanding that perspective, the fact that you have the ability to adapt. The fact you have the ability to adapt, right? You can come down, but watch this. Watch this. That same chicken may tell the eagle he don't need to fly too high because it's scary up there. Yeah. That same chicken gonna be like, hold on now. Don't you fly too high. It's scary up there, right? How many
they say, LeVar,
you have in your life right now telling you not to fly too high because it's scary up there? If you got somebody in your life that you feel like is telling you, hey, you're flying too high, it's scary up there, I want you guys to go ahead and put me in the chat because it's okay. Listen, if the chicken wasn't wrong, it was scary for him. He wasn't wrong, right? He just don't understand the flight or the plight of an eagle. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Lord.
Well, you know they say the air is thin up high.
Man,
they say the air is thin up top. So maybe that's why he was scared. He couldn't breathe up there. But you know why he couldn't breathe up there? Because he was never meant to be there.
He was never meant to be. You know, I got something even deeper. He's never been there. So he don't even know, period.
Like the way you said it. Watch this. Because I read something that blew my mind when I read it. They say eagles typically build their nests in the highest trees around, the branches where right there, the highest trees around. And in nowadays, with humans encroaching on all of their different habitats, now eagles build their nests in things like observation points. Mm-hmm. You know what the point of an observation point is? It's so tall so it can see everything. So they can observe what's going on around it. Mm. You was never meant to be on the ground. You needed to be up high so you can see everything going on around you. So you can't see. Look, watch this. If you're sitting in front of a house, LeVar, you can see the front door, but you can't see the whole house. Mm-mm. That's why when you get up in the air, you can see the whole house. You can see the whole lot the house sits on. Mm-hmm. The higher you get, the more you can see in that same sight and that same sight pattern. My question to you is, if you're watching this live, are you really ready to change your perspective? Are you ready to get off the ground? Are you ready to soar at that 10,000 feet?
I need y'all to put "I'm ready" in the chat. Go ahead, man. Go. I'm ready in the chat. If you're ready, I'm ready in the chat. Go ahead, man. Goodness.
Because if you're ready, you got to make some changes. Mm-hmm. You know, one of my favorite things is the changing of seasons. My favorite season is fall. And the reason why I like fall is because I'm a simple man. Like I'm like most men, I need to be able to see it. See, women do a better job of walking by faith than me, and I need to see it. So you tell me the season has changed, I need to see the colors of the leaves change. So you can't tell me that, you know what I'm saying, spring is happening and I don't see nothing blooming yet. I need to change. But see, in our lives, we have seasons that we might not see the change just that fast, but we know things are changing.
But we know things are
changing.
What
I'm telling you is if you're ready to shift your perspective, you got to be ready for change. You got to be ready for the seasons in your life to change. And if you're not doing what you need to in this season, you're not going to be prepared for next season. You're not going to be ready. Like if you don't do any planning, don't worry about doing no harvesting. You can go out there in the field and walk around, but you're wasting your time.
See, change is important, y'all. Understanding that sometimes, you know what? I really interesting. So right outside on my balcony, there's these trees, right? There's these trees, and you know these trees they've been bare for a while, right? Because in the winter they drop all leaves. They drop all leaves, and just yesterday I walked out on my balcony and realized that the trees are almost full of leaves. Came out of nowhere, almost as if overnight. I was like, whoa, like, where did that come from? Right? So, but understand something. Just because I didn't see it happening didn't mean it wasn't happening. Just because I didn't see the season shifting didn't mean the season wasn't shifting. I had to make sure that I was doing what I needed to do in the process. So when the season did shift, I was ready for it. So really quick, I'm gonna go ahead and say my piece, and we're gonna let T. Hutton go ahead and end us out. See, understand, eagles, they can build their nest up to 2,000 pounds. They can build nests up to 2,000 pounds. And when I started thinking about, man, like they're building home like that. They have that much love for home, that much love for their own space. That much love for their own life. And I start thinking about us. We got to do a better job with taking care of home, y'all. And home is not, it's not just a place. Home is where you are. Our mindsets, our energies, and everything. We have to do a better job of making sure that we're taking care of that. We got to make sure our foundation is solid. And it's based on what we want in our life and what not what anyone else is telling us it should be based on. See, the eagle is not saying, hey, look, hey, so what you think, T. Hutton, what you think I should, fill my house with? What you think I should fill my nest with? Nah. Instinctually, it already knows. Just like instinctually, you already know that you're meant for more in your life. You just got to put the action behind it. You got to make it work. T. Hutton, go ahead and close this out, brother.
Look, where are you in the animal kingdom? So you call yourself an eagle. Look, I'll be honest with you. When I get ready to close out, I just wanted to touch on one thing. They say eagles mate for life. And during courtship, they'll go out and they show off their strength and their agility and their potential to the other mates. When you're walking around your life and you're calling yourself an eagle, are you showing off your strengths and your ability? Maybe it's not for your mate. Maybe it's for your next business partner. Maybe it's for your next step in life. Maybe it's your next level that you need to be showing off truly that you are an eagle, that you have the ability to soar to heights above 10,000 feet. Maybe that you have the sight and the vision to see what you need to see. Maybe you are taking it and you have the strength to build home, like LeVar said. There's something about you that has to set you apart. Mm-hmm. Are you built for this? Are you truly an eagle? Do you have the ability to reach the goals, to reach the heights, to do what you're supposed to do, to live the life you're supposed to live? Because if you do, then let the world see that. Let the world see that you are continuously developing yourself, striving to become the best you possible, developing who you are, growing day in day, living your best life, and continue to dream not only for yourself, but for all those around you and those that are to come. Here at Grow, Live, Dream, we appreciate each one of you that took the time out your day to day. We appreciate each one of you that like, love, and share, that comments during these videos. But most importantly, we appreciate you working on you. So have a great day, a great weekend, and we'll see y'all later this week.
Let's do it.